Rocks, baked by the new season's sun, warmed their feet as Riverstone and Bonetta strolled along the west bank of Moses Creek. The sitting season was upon them. Soon, most females would be incubating a fresh batch of eggs to become a fresh batch of hatchlings. Most females? Not Bonetta. Breathe it all in, Nettie. The air is the best. Riverstone long planned for this moment, but now he fumbled through a mental fog. Thoughts aflutter, he wondered, oh, bird, where to start? They sauntered along, chatting about this and that. River jumped into the air, frantically pumped his wings, and found the top of a nearby stump. He danced and shuffled atop his impromptu stage. Nettie snickered, "You're crazy." "Yep, and I'm all yours, chickie. Get down off that stump before you—" In the process of playing the fool, River stumbled and crashed headfirst to the rocky ground, not a designed part of the choreography. Wings limp and flat on the ground, he gazed into the sky, admiring the stars dancing about. Oh no, it's not nighttime. Those aren't supposed to be there. While deciding what to do next, his gaze focused on a few mutinous feathers floating above him. They swung to and fro like a pendulum. He traced the path of one particular feather as it found its way to land on the tip of his beak. River closed one eye. My own plumage mocks me. Phooey! The feather gusted away and River collected his thoughts. Nettie laughed, briefly covering her beak with the bend in her wing. River rolled, dug his talons into loose mulch, and leaned back against the stump. He shook his head and blinked a few times. Nettie caught herself amid snickers and rushed to his side. "What are you doing? Trying to kill yourself? You know I could never carry you back." She perched next to him while he recovered and purred a favorite little nester's song her mother taught her as a youngling. Riverstone wriggled a little closer. He loved to hear Nettie purr. Soon, Riverstone's mind cleared and the conversation moved back to the intended topic. "Nettie, I hope the boys are putting their nests in shape. We'll have young ones popping out everywhere before they know what's happening." Nettie stood and took several steps toward the creek. She pawed at the ground. "You know they are, honey. They're even more anxious than you." She pivoted to make eye contact. "If that's possible. It's the girls I worry about." She returned her focus to the creek. A shiny olive-tinged pebble caught her attention. She kicked at it and followed its trail until it reached the water's edge. "I know they're nervous and worried. I remember how it felt in those first years." Her soft voice quivered. Her eyes swelled with moisture as her gaze lifted from the pebble and she attempted a smile. River felt her frustration, a plea for help, and now he knew what to say. Riverstone stood and edged closer. "Nettie, I know how much you've always loved this season. Things are changing this year. I'm sure this makes you a little sad, a little scared. We haven't talked about our new roles. We have so many chicks, and they all need our help." "I know, River." Nettie's wings drooped as her gaze fell back to the riverbed. "But I feel like I should be sitting. I don't feel any older. I keep waiting for the signs, but they just don't come." Riverstone tilted his head and softened his expression. "For many seasons, you filled our nest with beautiful hatchlings. You were born for that life. Look at how alive it is here in Pharsalia. Think of all the fowl you brought out of the egg. Have you ever stopped to think about how many? It's amazing, right? Together we raise them." Riverstone's eyes brightened. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of our family." The two shared a fond glance. "Our mission has changed. The entire family depends on us, especially you." He paused to let the thought settle in. Our lives are more meaningful, no less important, no less demanding. Bristling at the lecture, Nettie shook her head vigorously. She leaned her body toward her spouse. Her eyes narrowed, and her voice quickened. "Riva, will you stop? I know what's happening around me and what I need to do for the family. I'm not asking for anyone to throw me a pity party. Just please allow me time to adjust. This change feels like a huge loss. I know it's more a change than a loss, but it feels like a loss right now. Give me a break." She raised her wing and shook it in River's direction. "Someday, you may need time for your own adjustments." "Wait, quiet!" Riverstone's head stabbed skyward like an antenna. The feathers in his topknot stood erect. His wings tightened, and his eyes widened as they met Nettie's. "Did you hear that?" Like most ground fowl, Riverstone startled at the slightest of unexpected sounds or movements. Fear filled Nettie's eyes. "What is it?" The thrashing sound repeated, louder than before. Bushes, no more than 20 hops away, shook without an apparent shaker. Then it stopped. The two scanned the grounds in the direction of the disturbance. Agonizing moments passed before the bushes again rustled and the thrashing recurred. "Do you see anything?" she asked. Riverstone put his wing around Bonetta and pulled her toward low shrubs up a short rise. In a quiet tone, River said, "No, Nettie, but we'll be out of sight here. Let's just stay quiet until we know what it is. Hopefully, it'll pass quickly." They huddled motionless for some time. Nettie began to fidget in her perch. "I'm hungry, Riverstone. I told you I wanted to go to the lake, where all the good snacks are, but no. You had to lecture me about my big change in life." "Not now, Nettie." Anxiety burned in Riverstone's gullet until he couldn't sit still. His eyes widened, and the dark plumage that encircled his neck puffed and ruffled. His wings retracted close to his body, and his thin, bony legs trembled. "Oh, no, Riverstone, you're getting all worked up. Don't do anything crazy. Let's just go home." Riverstone remained focused on the troublesome bush. "Riverstone," she quietly chirped, "stay with me. We can go home together. I don't care what's making all the noise." She gave him another tug. He pulled away, glanced back to his mate, then focused on the bush. "I need to see what it is. A quick peek. Stay put." Nettie dug further into her soft crouch and reached for her mate, eyes darting in every direction. Riverstone checked back at Nettie. He knew that look, panic. Images from the past leaped into his thoughts. Memories of predators that threatened their home, threatened their precious family. Riverstone remembered that feeling. But when he saw this on Nettie's face, fear hardened into something more, a call to duty. Nettie's fear scared him into action. "I have to see what it is. We can't stay hidden all day." He decided to get closer to the mysterious activity. "I'll see if there is danger or not." When Riverstone signaled for Nettie to stay put, she seemed reluctant, but didn't argue. River mapped a path in his mind to investigate the threat. He eased away from the creek, scanning the ground ahead for a safe, quiet approach. He picked each claw drop carefully, concentrating on the worrisome bushes, but also remained alert to the periphery. Each step seemed too noisy. Nerves, already on edge, frayed even further. Would he be spotted? His heart raced. Stiff, tight feathers strangled his breath as fear pulsed from heart to feather tip. Soon he stood next to the bushes from which came all the commotion. He squinted to see between twigs and branches. Something rolled around on the ground, but he couldn't make out the shape. Soon curiosity overcame fear. He crept around the side of the bushiest bush and, with his wings, parted the clutter of branches and vines. Once more he found the movement. Finally, his eyes found focus on the object. This can't be, he thought. A baby fowl of some sort and all alone? How could it be all alone? He glanced around, looking for a parent. Must be lost, he thought. His thoughts turned to Nettie. He opened his beak to call her, then thought better of it. From the corner of his eye he glimpsed another form, a movement toward the baby. Slowly, silently, undulating,